Welcome, everybody. Welcome, fellow patriots. Welcome, fellow deplorables. Welcome, all you dregs to society, all you rock dwellers, all you sycophants, all you stinkos, all you hateful people who celebrate the president, fly the American flag, and honor America. You're always welcome here. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Rick Trader, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network, and joining me as my co-host is the patriot from the battle-born state, the silver state of Nevada, Sharron Angle. Sharron, welcome back. Welcome back to Conservative Commandos.
Thank you so much, Rick. You know, I love being here. You kind of keep me on my toes. I have to go through and find things that are newsworthy. But I want to start out with one thing that we found quite a while ago, actually. We actually went to the Secretary of State, and we said, based on our analysis of the state voter registration database, that we have 40,000 ballots that were mailed to those who were likely moved or died, or were mailed 2 to 4 ballots. And that's about 42,000 people went. So I went on and I looked to see what we had, because, you know, what they give us: their name, their address, their phone number, their date of birth, when they got registered to vote. All of those things are contained in the public records of voter registration. So here's what I found that was really interesting within our findings. So there, it's known. People can actually call me on our hotline, 775-787-6017.
Now, these findings are specifically for the state of Nevada.
That's right. And
I'm sure you can multiply them 50 times because of the other states.
Probably so, because we're going to talk about that. I mean, I found a whole bunch of stuff. These elections are revealing a lot of stuff, but these are the things that I think are quite amazing. I think that we need to encourage people to move to Nevada, because what we have here is 9 folks that are 118 years old that registered to vote in Nevada for the first time, it looks like.
For the first time.
Yeah, in November
Where they've been for
2019.
118 years. I mean,
well, maybe they were in another state. I don't know. Maybe, I can't figure it out exactly where they're residing. But there was 9 of those, 118 years old. There were 10 that were 119 years old. Same thing, registering to vote in 2019 and 2020. It looks like it. Looks like it. Okay. And then finally, we found 3 that were 120 years old. Wow. So over 20 people here in Nevada. I don't know where that Fountain of Youth is, but I think that we should start marketing it. We obviously have got something going on here for the Guinness World Book of Records.
Hey, I think it's a great advertising idea for Nevada tourism, Sharron. I mean, you got Las Vegas, okay? You got the brothels, but the Fountain of Youth, it's right here in Nevada.
Yeah.
Maybe you can, here, and you hear this all the time, we need to bottle it and sell it, and maybe we can afford to do this show. Yeah.
Right. Well, I tell you, I'm going out prospecting, because it may not be a fountain, maybe it's a mine.
There's longevity in them there hills.
Yeah, most of them live in Clark County, so I think that's where I'll start my search, right?
Yeah,
Clark County, Las Vegas.
Who says it's gambling that's bad for your health? Obviously, it's good for their health down there.
Right.
Wow.
Well, there were a couple of other things that were kind of interesting. We found a guy in Las Vegas again who voted in the last 2 general elections twice as a Republican. And then we found this counters out.
Well, we'll let his vote stand.
Okay. So then we found one in Reno, and he also voted twice in 6 elections. The last time was 2018, so I'm sure he'll show up in 2020. He voted one time as a Democrat and one time as a Republican, so he split his vote up that way.
Well, he couldn't make up his mind
Right. And
He
then
wanted to do his civic duty. He just couldn't make up his mind, so he thought, I'll vote for both parties.
And then we found another a lady in Las Vegas who had two votes that she cast, both in 2018, once as a Democrat and then once as a third party, as an independent. So, see, they just spread it around. You can't say that it's just one party. Everybody's doing it. You said we should get on the bandwagon and beat them at their own game. Well, it looks like maybe we have.
Go team!
Go team! Except, I don't know. It's an amazing thing. It seems to me that that's a felony, voting twice, and somebody should be in jail.
Oh,
but
now you're just judging.
Right? Just a spoiler, right?
Yeah.
But, we're not the only state that's reporting this stuff. 353 counties in 29 U.S. states have 1.8 million more registered voters than eligible voting age citizens. So how does that happen? I guess there's a lot of those double voters out there, you get more out there. Or maybe there's a lot of those 120-year-olds that actually haven't gotten registered to vote yet. Right? Or maybe they're registered to vote. They are just living in the cemetery. I don't know how that works. You can't get off the rolls if they still think you're alive. Crazy bunch.
Well, I keep saying this. We had a governor of New Jersey, Brendan Byrne, and he proudly said when he dies, he wanted to be buried in Hudson County, New Jersey, so his vote would continue to count. There you go.
There you go. Well, and there's that old saying, my dad was a Republican until the day he died, and then he was a Democrat.
Yeah. Hey, Sharon, we got a little bit of sad news, and
we do.
About this. Rush Limbaugh, who's influenced so many people, influenced me, is not doing well. His health he said the days when he thinks he could beat his lung cancer are probably gone. And I just wanted to say, God bless you, Rush Limbaugh. And we just want you to be strong and fight. Don't give up. This country owes a debt of gratitude to Rush Limbaugh and for all that he has done for the country. His love for this country, his patriotism is well known, and he's dedicated his life, as I see it, to this country. He's educated all of us for decades, and he's a man who will never be forgotten. And millions of patriotic Americans are praying for your recovery, Rush, and remember that you're loved and that God loves you, and we want you to be strong and fight. And I think this country owes a debt of gratitude to Rush for all that he's done. And he's educated us all for decades, and he'll never be forgotten. Millions of patriotic Americans are praying for your recovery. And again, remember, Rush Limbaugh, that you are loved. We'll never, what you have meant to this country is unmeasurable.
Well, and he even though he said that the news wasn't good, that it was headed in the wrong direction, he's beat this before. And he said it happened once and it can happen again. So that's the objective of the current treatment plan. He wants to do it again, beat this thing again. And we're going to pray that that's exactly what will happen. He's 69 years old, not old enough to pass the baton on yet. And so we're going to be praying for you, Rush. You keep doing what you need to do in order to get those treatments back on the right track.
Yeah. Well, Sharon, let's take our break. We've got some great guests to talk about on the other side. And you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharon Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos Radio Network. And today's show, like all our shows, is being brought to you by the First Amendment, protected by the Second. We'll be right back.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
And welcome back to the Conservative Commandos Radio Show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And again, for rebroadcast, check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. If you'd like to recommend a guest, someone you'd like us to interview and talk with, please send us an email. It's easy to do. auntv@yahoo.com, auntv@yahoo.com. In the subject line, just put guest recommendation. We'd love to hear from you. Love to hear what you think about our programming, especially the programming on the American Uncensored News Network that I have a small part in. But Sharon, speaking of guests, who will we be speaking about today?
Well, our first guest is Cheryl Chumley. We haven't had her on for quite a while, but she is the online editor for the Washington Times and the author of several books. Her newest book is Socialists Don't Sleep, and we're going to be discussing that with her. The subtitle for that book, Socialists Don't Sleep, is Christians Must Rise or America Will Fall, and she's going to give us the reasons, I think, for her summation of that book. Our second guest is a newcomer. His name is Dr. Stephen Soloway. He is he's earned the top doctor awards every year since 2003, and he's regarded as one of the leaders in medicine in Philadelphia, New Jersey, and the Delaware area for rheumatologic care. He recently completed his appointment to the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, and now he has written his first book, Bad Medicine: The Horrors of American Health Care, and this is actually coming out today. So
Right.
we're excited to talk with Dr. Soloway about his new book. And finally, Dan Gaynor, who is a longtime friend of the show, Vice President of Business and Culture for the Media Research Center, and a veteran editor whose work has been published in all kinds of places, including he's been a guest here so often on Conservative Commando's radio show, and we've asked him to come on and talk about their new report of the Media Research Center, which reveals that Facebook and Twitter have censored President Trump and his campaign 65 times on both platforms, while Vice President Biden and his campaign have faced 0 instances of censorship. So that
There's
leads...
no bias. There's no bias in the media, is there?
Well, that leads me to the subtle biases here. We've been fighting the mail-in ballot hard and strong in the courts of Nevada, and yet these media guys have the audacity to report that with more than 2 weeks until the election, more than twice as many Nevada voters have returned ballots by mail than the entire 2016 election. Talk about a spin, doctor. We don't have a choice. We got COVID-19. They said you have to have a mail-in ballot. You can't go to the polls like you wanted to, and so no wonder we have more mail-in ballots this year than we did in 2016. You know, it's astounding to me how they can get it wrong.
I think in Pennsylvania they've got more mail-in ballots than they do people, actually, Sharron.
That's right. That's right. That's what we discussed in our first opening part, was how many ballots are out there that, you know, that don't belong to anybody, or dead people.
Sure,
or
here you go. Handing
people
them
that
out
have
like candy. Take 1, take 3, take 10. Here, help yourself. Give them to your friends.
Well, and the court is not our friend, and that's, I guess, the other thing that I found here. We need Amy Coney Barrett, and the reason we do need Amy Coney Barrett is because we've got some kind of a lame Chief Justice over there that was supposed to be on our side, but every time we turn around, the guy is voting with the lefties. And, you know, we've got some great guys: Clarence Thomas, Sam Alito, Neil Gorsuch, and Brett Kavanaugh. I mean, we should be there. There's 4 strong conservatives, but this John Roberts, he just keeps making mistakes right and left and cannot seem to protect our vote this time.
Well,
I don't know what they've got on him.
Well, you know, I have a theory on John Roberts. You know who nominated him to the Supreme Court? George Bush. And there is definitely friction and hatred between the Bushes and Trump. And I really do think that John Roberts is remembering and being a little bit too loyal to the Bush clan. He has, you know, Pennsylvania law, Sharron, Pennsylvania law is very clear that ballots must be in by the day of the election, not 3 days later, not 3 days later. All right, but here you go, the Supreme Court, John Roberts says, oh no, we're going to ignore the Pennsylvania law. How can you ignore the Pennsylvania law, John Roberts? It says must be in by the day of the election. I mean, Obamacare, you know, thanks to John Roberts, we're still stuck with Obamacare around our neck. Well, also add John McCain to that little ditty. But my gosh, we do need Amy. Just think if Judge Barrett was on the Supreme Court now, that would be overturned. Sharron,
right, she would have protected our vote.
Would be totally different. Sharron, there's something I wanted to discuss. I wanted to talk about George Daniels, and I think this guy's got it right. I really think this guy's got it right. George is the president of Daniels Manufacturing Corporation. All right, they're down in Florida. And he has recently sent a letter to his employees showing what life really is about. And it's about the 2020 elections and the negative impact that a Biden presidency would have on his business. and his employees. And in this letter, he warns, and I'll read from it. Quote, if Trump and the Republicans win the election, DMC, that's his company, will hopefully be able to continue operating more or less as we have been lately. But if Biden's and the Democrats win, DMC will be forced to begin permanent layoffs. This guy's got it right. And Sharron, I think if other business owners were honest and truthful, they would also be telling their employees the same thing. How important this election is to the future of their businesses and their companies. And that means the future of these people's jobs.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And I haven't ever heard an employer put it quite in those terms, but I think you're right. If the employers would begin to start telling the truth about what happened during, all they have to do is look past at the past 10 years under Obama to know that that administration was a job killer. A job killer.
The only thing that saved that administration was fracking. And fracking lowered the cost of energy. And by lowering the cost of energy, it's like a tax cut for all of us, Sharron. Mm-hmm. You know, all Americans benefited by fracking, by the lower cost of energies, businesses, individuals, everybody. And our economy, I would love to see, well, thank God we never saw what our economy would have been without fracking, lowering the cost of energy, because I think it really saved Obama's butt.
Well, we didn't know what a depression looked like until Trump took office and began to deregulate things and bring the economy back, and then it boomed. And we have never seen such a thriving economy in the history of the United States as those 3 years before COVID. And of course, now we know what the end goal of COVID was, and that's to kill the economy so that people didn't understand what true prosperity looks like as opposed to a depression. And that's kind of where we're headed now.
It's where we are headed, and the American people have to realize, you know, business today is such a target. Everybody hates businesses and businessmen. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be in the greatest country ever created on God's blue-green planet. Hey, Sharron, we got to take a break and then get on with our guest. And you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. Cheryl Chumley is going to be joining us after the break. She's an online opinion editor for the Washington Times, great newspaper. Cheryl's got a new book out, and we always like for our friends to be doing well. I can't wait to hear about this book. Socialists Don't Sleep. Christians Must Rise or America Will Fall. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Cheryl right after this break.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
And once again, we want to welcome you back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And for a rebroadcast of our show, you can check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. You'll find our radio show there as well as our TV show. And with that, Sharron, we do have the first guest of the day, our first guest of the day with us. And please make that introduction.
Well, it's always a pleasure to introduce Cheryl Chumley, who is an online opinion editor for the Washington Times, the author of The Devil in D.C., Winning Back the Country from the Beast in Washington, and of Police State USA, How Orwell's Nightmare is Becoming a Reality, and a 2008-2009 Robert Novak Journalism Fellow with a Fund for American Studies. She's also a licensed private investigator and principal of Chumley Investigation. Her newest book is Socialists Don't Sleep. Cheryl, welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Sharon and Rick, it's so great to be back with you guys. Missed our chats.
Well, we're glad to catch up with you, and this is a very timely book. Socialists Don't Sleep. Christians Must Rise or America Will Fall. That's a quite a subtitle. And I feel it. And I think Christians are feeling it across the nation, especially with this COVID thing that has shut down our churches. What prompted you to write the book? Because you must have been at least months in the making, and it's, like I said, very timely, but you must have started it before COVID. Are you prophetic?
Let me tell you, that's an interesting question. I actually had the theme of this book almost 20 years ago, and it was under a Republican president. George Bush had just pressed forward and passed into law a piece of legislation called the American Dream Down Payment Act. And you probably don't remember it, but what it was a bill that he worked with Democrats to pass that took taxpayer dollars and funneled them toward minorities to entice them to buy homes in America. And the justification was that the more minority home ownership we had in America, the better it was for the entire country. And I remember when that passed, I thought, how is that not socialism? And from there grew the title of the book that I actually had back then, Socialists Don't Sleep. And I sat on it because my husband convinced me that, you know what, the timing's not right for this book because socialism is not talked about yet. Well, here we are, and not only is socialism talked about, but it's openly embraced.
Absolutely. In fact, we've gone past socialism, I think, to communism, haven't we? I mean, it just seems like we skipped a step.
Seriously, that's no joke, and it's not understated. You know, the Democrat Party has done a pretty good job of masking its socialism and couching it in terms that confuse. First, they're Democrats and they're progressives. Are they democratic socialists? Are they socialists? I mean, they play with the rhetoric so much that nobody really knows what the actual definition of socialism is anymore. And that's what I seek to point out in this book, that it's the seeds of socialism, not the outright socialism with a capital S that we need to worry about. It's the stuff that leads into the actual Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's being elected.
Well, you say that Christians are especially well placed to fight socialism for many reasons. Let's talk about the reasons.
Yeah. And, you know, I know that the subtitle of this book is probably a turnoff for a lot of Americans because they think, well, why does it have to be Christians? Why can't it be Jews or Buddhists or even atheists? And I've put a lot of thought into this. And first and foremost, our country was founded on Judeo-Christian principles, right? So that means that one of the core greatest assets of our nation was the idea of individual rights coming from God, not government. And that is not just a blessing. That's not just the greatest thing that we Americans share, different from any other nation. It's also a responsibility. It means that Christians have to be involved in politics, and we haven't been, right? We've been too quiet in recent years, and this is why our country is tipping toward open embrace of socialism. So Christians right now, they are well positioned to take back the country. And I have a whole chapter on the variety of reasons why it should be the Christian community. But here's one. Christians are trained to understand that humanity is fallen, sin-filled, born into sin. So Christians naturally look above for guidance on the moral compassing. They don't look to government for that. That's exactly what Founding Fathers wanted us to do as well. The Founding Fathers knew that without the proper moral compass in America, our democratic republic would fall.
Absolutely correct. And I think we forget what they said. In fact, I think that's intentional. What do you think? You mentioned that there's a generation raised without God, but they're also raised without history.
Yeah, exactly. And part of the reason for that, and I go into detail in one chapter in my book, is that there are a lot of teachers in America's public school systems who are card-carrying, dues-paying members of the Democratic Socialists of America. And they are actively trying to push forward the propaganda idea that Marxism is great, capitalism is racist and evil. And not only that, they are actively enticing other people in America to join with them and become teachers to press forward the DSA type of mentality. So this isn't just, a benign set of teachers that are educating our youth who are failing to teach truthful history. These are active, wicked, in my mind, Marxists bent on bringing forward the next generation of American children, American leaders, to be socialists in mind, heart, and soul.
Okay, so that's where we're getting these mobs in the inner cities, I guess. Talk a little bit about this protest movement, the Black Lives Matter, and how all of this fits into the socialist agenda.
It really does, because one of the seeds of socialism, one of the ways that socialism creeps into a society is through chaos. Right? When there's confusion in the citizenry, when there's chaos in the streets, it opens the doors for, who to come in and instill order? Why, big government. And this is where we're at now. Government is the one that's turned to for the solution. And government can't possibly bring about a calm in society. That comes from people's hearts, right? It comes from people who are raised in the proper way to go, in the proper way to self-regulate their own behaviors. That comes from God. So when government fails to bring about peace and calm in the streets, it opens the door for even more government to come in. And this is how society crumbles and falls.
Well, here in the West, we're kind of hearing little bits and pieces of revival. People just flocking to the beaches to hear about Jesus. How do you get past, though, their indoctrination? It seems like the schools have been very good at stopping critical thinking. And, as much as the secularists will accuse a Christian of blind faith, that's not true. It's very thought out. We have, we have good, sound reasons for our faith. And how do you reason with someone that's unreasonable?
Right. Well, one person at a time. You can't possibly change an entire nation with one speech or with one biblical passage. So it starts with those who know. Like I read the Bible, you probably read the Bible, and you see what's happening in this nation. So within your own sphere of influence, it's incumbent on those in the know to teach and maybe even preach a little bit about how this country should be guided, about how this country's government should go. And remember, the optimism here is that we don't have to win the majority to change the nation. There can be a very small population who are determined in messaging who can achieve the win. The Bible's filled with stories of people who started with nothing. Look at Gideon. And God kept reducing the amount of people who would fight with Gideon until it got down to just a few hundred. So that's all it takes to save a nation, just a few hundred.
Well, I think you're right. In fact, it was only a few hundred that really started a revolution that led to the founding of our country. We're coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM/FM 24/7. I'm Sharron Angle here with my co-host, Rick Trader, and we've been talking with our guest, Cheryl Chumley, about her new book, Socialists Don't Sleep, Christians Must Rise, or America Will Fall. We'll be right back after these messages.
Attention homeowners. Do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
And once again, we want to welcome you back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharon Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. Our guest this segment is Cheryl Chumley. She's an online opinion editor at the Washington Times. And we're discussing her new book, Socialists Don't Sleep, Christians Must Rise or America Will Fall. Cheryl, we want to thank you for holding through that break, and also we want to wish you the best of luck with your book. And Cheryl, in your book you talk about a couple of things, and I want to try to attach the dots. And you write, our public education system is in shambles, and it's filled with card-carrying, dues-paying socialist communist activists supporting members of the DSA. You also write, Democrats and the radical left are planting dangerous seeds of socialist principles in our everyday life, including public schools, that teach America is not exceptional. Cheryl, maybe it's time for us to get our kids out of government schools. What do you think?
Well, I did with my husband, and I have 4 kids together, and the first 3 we let attend public school. And we had our battles with the teachers and administrators, but by and large they did okay by it. And then our fourth child, we couldn't take it any longer. It was when Obama was president, and he started implementing that gender neutral bathrooms, and my daughter would run home from school to use the bathroom because she was afraid there would be a boy next to her in the public school system.
Gosh.
So we all reach our final straw moment, right? And in America right now, I say the public schools have gone beyond the final straw moment. If you are a parent and if you have any means at all possible, it would be most beneficial for your child, for your family, to pull that child from public school and homeschool or private school or Christian school instead. At the very least, you as a parent ought to look through your child's history books, your child's math books, all your child's science books, and make sure your child knows the Constitution and the truthful founding of America. It's okay if they want to learn the leftist version, but you as a parent have to be there to teach the proper truthful version, so they'll know when they graduate high school that it's not supposed to be a socialist nation that we have.
Cheryl, you also say at STAC are the freedoms for the freedoms that America cherishes. But I wanted to talk with you about the youth. When polled, 47% of our youth say they want to live under a socialist society. Wow, Cheryl, where have we gone wrong in teaching our youth that the American way of life is the greatest thing on God's blue-green planet as far as freedoms, as far as education, as far as a healthcare system, as far as all the things we can buy at Walmart every day of the week, and that we don't have to stand in lines the way they do in socialist countries like Venezuela and Cuba.
Yeah, I think that, again, we've discussed the education angle and how there has been purposeful infiltration of socialists into our public school system. They, you know what, don't take my word for it. Go to the Democrat Socialists of America website and look up, how they conducted their union protests in Wisconsin. They actively solicit people to go into the school systems and become teachers to further and advance their socialist views. But
Wow.
we've discussed that. The other link here is the secularization of society. It's no small coincidence that most socialist, communist, Marxist nations are also atheistic, right? Because the government wants to be the God. And so there's no room at the top for two. You can't worship God and government at the same time. And government doesn't want its citizens worshiping God. They want the worship. So the more you could remove the benefits of church from society and make church seem as if it's okay, but it's not necessary to live your life, to be a productive member of society, the more you can remove that, then the larger the void becomes for government to enter and become that godly leader that demands worship.
Cheryl, you talk about the Democrat Socialist Party of America. Where's the dividing line between that group and the Democrat Party that we're seeing in 2020?
Yeah, see, this is one of the seeds of socialism. They play with the rhetoric. To answer your question, where is it? There is none. I look at the platforms of both, and they're pretty much the same. So the thing you have to be aware of as a patriotic American citizen is that when the media pundits and the leftists in the Democrat Party start discussing the actual definition of socialism, and they poo-poo and scoff at those people that call the Democrat Party socialist because they say, well, socialists mean that the government has to have control over the means of production. And Democrats don't want that. Democrats want a mix. You have to cast aside that and say, you know what? The standard here is constitutional or not. It's individual freedom or not. And let the scholars dicker and bicker over the actual definition of socialism. I say the Democrat Party is so far left, it practically is socialist.
Cheryl, back in the spring, I wrote an article, and the idea of the article is this lockdown. This Wuhan flu is a magnifying glass into bigger and bigger government. Do you see what is happening with this lockdowns, with our freedoms being eroded as part of the plan?
Absolutely. Globalists are all over this coronavirus lockdown because it advances their tentacles even further into America. You know, we got a little bit of a taste of what socialism was like when all the store shelves in America were cleared of basic supplies like toilet paper and cleaning, Clorox bleach and all that. That's what socialism brings. It brings empty store shelves and long lines to purchase even the most basic necessities.
Well, why is that? Why is that, Cheryl?
Because when government puts its hands on the free market and picks winners and losers, who actually loses in the end are the citizens, the consumers, because the government chooses who they're going to let sell and create and produce certain products. And in the end, it goes to the biggest, it goes to those who give the government the most, say, money to pad their pockets. When you take away the free market, you take away truthful markets. You take away, the ability for businesses to compete. And when the government gets to choose who gets to put products on store shelves, it's never going to be 10 different types of products. It's going to be one, maybe two. And the citizens in the end lose. They lose on the ability to choose, and they oftentimes lose in their pocketbooks because when there's not competition, they pay the price that's asked for. That's it. But here's the real problem. The real socialism is the contact tracing. We got to watch out for that.
Right. Cheryl Chumley, online opinion editor at the Washington Times, also the author of the book we're talking about, Socialists Don't Sleep, Christians Must Rise or America Will Fall. Cheryl, please tell our audience how to follow you, read your articles, buy your book.
Thank you. Find me at the Washington Times. I post there daily, at Twitter at CK Chumley, and you can buy my book anywhere on Amazon, anywhere books are sold.
Cheryl Chumley, thank you so much for joining us. Take care and God bless.
Oh, God bless both of you guys. Thank you.
And you are listening to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. On the other side, we're going to be talking with Dr. Stephen Soloway, and he's also got a book out, Bad Medicine, The Horrors of American Healthcare. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000. You need home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club for around $1 a day. If any of your covered appliances and systems break down, HSC will either repair or replace them.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
I trust HSC.
HSC has over 15,000 pre-screened, highly rated technicians with the fastest response time in the industry. They cover everything from ACs, stoves, fridges, pool pumps, and more. Call the number on your screen now for a free no-obligation quote from a trusted HSC specialist about a home warranty for your entire home, backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get 1 month free plus $75 off your first year of coverage. 1 month free and $75 off your first year. The Home Service Club.
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for dental visits. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for transportation to my doctor. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay to have my prescriptions delivered directly to my home. Did you?
These and more are important benefits some Medicare Advantage plans may give you. So if you're eligible for Medicare, call us right now because you may be eligible to enroll in a plan with amazing additional benefits. Some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for services like like these: dental visits, vision coverage, hearing coverage, home delivery of drugs, even gym memberships. Some plans may include no copays for many services and zero deductibles. Don't wait to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a plan that may include some of these wonderful benefits you deserve. Call us right now. The call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation. Make this free call now to learn if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that may include additional benefits you want. Call us right now.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
And once again, we want to welcome you back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And if you'd like to hear a rebroadcast or see a rebroadcast of our show, please check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. And Sharon, we do have our next guest with us. And as you do with all our guests, please make them feel welcome.
Well, it's certainly an honor and a privilege for me to introduce Dr. Stephen Soloway, who has dedicated his life to helping patients and colleagues and patients who visit him from 6 countries and many U.S. cities. Dr. Soloway's devotion to patients' needs has earned him the top doctor awards every year since 2003, and he's regarded as one of the leaders in Philadelphia, New Jersey, and the Delaware area for rheumatologic care. He recently completed his appointed to President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, and his first book, Bad Medicine, The Horrors of American Healthcare, publishes this late in October, and it's out now. So they weren't anticipating this, but it's today. It's out. Dr. Stephen Soloway, welcome to Conservative Commandos radio show.
Oh, thank you so much. I could not have introduced myself better if I introduced myself. You're amazing. I love it.
Well, I was struck by a few things about your book, so I'm just going to go to the with them. What's in it for me? And this was the thing that I picked up. There are medical tips and tricks that could save you from, get this, amputations, years of pain, or premature death, along with a game plan for maintaining a healthy lifestyle. So let's start with a few tips for our audience on how to save your leg.
Oh gosh. Okay. So, the reason that is mentioned in the book is I've seen people unnecessarily have toes and fingers amputated. And the scariest thing is gout and diabetic toes and psoriatic arthritis, all 3 can look exactly the same unless you actually know what you're doing. Now, some of us know exactly what we're doing and others do not. So, I have seen people have a gout attack, they get an x-ray, the toe looks destroyed, and here comes the surgeon, the carpenter, with the saw. He says, it looks awful, we have to cut it off. But wait, you did not call rheumatology. Rheumatology did not stick a needle in and analyze the fluid and tell you this patient has merely gout. It's just a bad case of gout. You merely need to uninflame that toe. And as we're on the way to meet that patient and tell that doctor what they should do, they're in the operating room. And what do? They take the specimen and they put it in formaldehyde because they don't know that gout is dissolved by formaldehyde. So when it gets to the lab, nobody knows that it was gout. And only the savvy rheumatologist knew what it was and why it's not showing up on the test after. So please ask for a rheumatologist if you're in the hospital or you're going to go for a surgery. If you're going to get a knee replacement and there's a really cunning rheumatologist who can put that needle right between the so-called bone on bone and buy you 6 months of time, you may not want the surgery because, half of them work out great. The other half are coming here for treatment of the arthritis of the artificial knee. In fact, in the book, I mentioned 2 of the articles I've written. I've discovered the arthritis of gout and calcium pyrophosphate arthritis inside artificial joints.
Wow.
So why would you go for another surgery when I can just drain the fluid out of your artificial joint? I haven't figured this out yet. I don't know. This power has not bestowed itself to me yet. So that's a good tip that really can save you. And frankly, if the skin on the tips of your fingers or toes turns dark red or blue or a color that you're not comfortable with, and all of a sudden the emergency room calls the vascular surgeon, say, whoa, please call the rheumatologist. I want to make sure my blood isn't too thick. I don't want to have too much protein in the blood and get something cut off when they can treat it. Or tell me if my blood vessels are having a spasm and that can be treated with pills. Or tell me if there's something wrong with the integrity of the wall of the blood vessel, none of which needs surgery. Because what happens in reality, or what should happen, we, the rheumatologist, the general contractor, we should be calling the vascular surgeon if and when we literally can't solve the problem. And we do have to do that from time to time, but that should be 1 in 1,000, not 99%. Unfortunately, our system is currently operating in reverse. It's very sad to see.
And you mentioned how that operation in reverse has happened. Now, we're very prone to blame the insurance companies for what's happened to private practice and also to healthcare in the world. But you say it's the hospitals. How did that happen, and why the hospitals?
Well, this question is a big answer. And by the way, I won't take the insurance companies off the hook. The insurance companies, in fact, they set up roadblocks at every corner for you to treat somebody properly. And anything to save a buck, they're very nearsighted. They'll want somebody to go to physical therapy 12 times with a copay of $25 a time before they can get their knee injected for, say, $100. Meanwhile, the patient can't complete therapy because it hurts too much because they need that knee shot. But nope, you can't have it. So they're hoping the patient goes away or dies, and you don't get paid, but they already paid their yearly copay or their yearly deductible. Now, the hospitals, they are intertwined with the government. So here's the story. The government insurance plans, they're out to make sure that a doctor doesn't make a living, either by cutting your salary every year, your reimbursement, or by auditing you to death. And by the way, if you happen to be overly efficient, you're actually criminalized, and they think you do too much, and they audit you so much that you don't even want to take their patients anymore. And then this is why you see doctors that are 50 years old just saying, you know what, I've done it 20 years, I'm out, done, goodbye. I'll go sell hot dogs because there's nobody auditing me for selling too many hot dogs. And so when these, that's the song Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater Revival. Unless you're the senator's son, there's a rummage sale at your house when the IRS comes. Well, that's how a proficient doctor is made to feel. There's a rummage sale at my office every time we had a good year because a lot of people came. So to answer the question, what's happening is you have the government funding hospitals for teaching purposes, all in the name of using the money to buy up the practices so that the government finds it easier to audit 1,000 hospitals instead of 1 million doctors. So this way they can hire less people and they can control the people they hire. Because, once you cross a certain threshold, you become a communist. And as soon as you're a communist, everyone has to do what you say because you won't lose your job. You might be missing. Kind of like that small town north of Ireland, you know. So this is the real deal. This is the real deal. And I've been doing this for 30. Actually, I graduated medical school. Wait, I got so old I forgot. In 1988. So I've been a doctor. I've been an MD. I've had my MD degree since 1988. And I started this practice 28 years ago. Anything I tell you, this is like, I'm giving you like a stock tip. Anything I told you is true. However, past performance is no guarantee for future results. In fact, maybe the government will say you can't have the knee shot even if you go to physical therapy next time. Or they'll say, no, therapy is too expensive. You can't go at all.
Well, we haven't even touched on the sacred cow of why the VA should be abolished. I'll leave that to my co-host, Rick Trader. I'm Sharron Engel, and we've been talking with our guest, Dr. Stephen Soloway, about his new book, Bad Medicine, The Horrors of American Healthcare. We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM FM 24/7. We'll be right back after these messages.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
And once again, we want to welcome you back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And you know me, I love to give shout outs to folks who are listening to us on radio stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, as well as Washington, D.C., and also seen on the AUN television network in San Francisco, Sacramento, San Jose, Silicon Valley, Wine Country, Redding, and very soon in Carson City and in Reno, Nevada. Our guest this segment is Dr. Stephen Soloway, and he has a new book out. And Doctor, hold that book up again. Bad Medicine, The Horrors of American Healthcare. Doctor, we want to thank you for joining us today. And Doctor, you're right. A Medicare for all will result in patient care for none. And also the VA, something that I've talked about, the VA must be abolished, especially for health care. Doctor, please talk about those two issues.
Okay. There's about $1 trillion a year spent on health care. There are 300 million Americans with health care, and there's 30 million Americans without health care. So point number one is we don't want the far left coming in and destroying a healthcare system that's currently helping 90% of the people for 10% of the people that don't have health insurance. So that's the first point I would have to say is important to point out. So when all these people who we don't even want to say their names in public, when they come up with some new deal or some this or that, our system works for 90% of the people or more. Now, I say, why do we want to abolish the VA and why Medicare for all is terrible? So, first of all, if we have Medicare for all, then the other 200 million people who have private health insurance will give up their freedom of choice. And you might say, well, wait a minute, why can't they just keep the same doctor? Well, if you have Medicare for all, we now have socialized medicine. And if we have socialized medicine, nobody's going to have an incentive to work hard. And if nobody has an incentive to work hard and all doctors are going to get paid the same, why the hell would I get out of bed and come to work in the morning? I'm going to get paid the same if I could sleep or I go to work. Mm-hmm. So who the hell would do that? All right. So that's one thing. Now, the audits would continue. I'm sure about that because they got to keep the IRS in business. So you can't keep your doctor because your doctor's going to retire. So you're going to get a young doctor. Well, you know what young doctors know? They know as much as a newly married couple. They don't know anything. So you get a guy who read the textbook. He thinks he knows everything and he passed an exam. And to paraphrase one of my extremely brilliant deceased professors, passing the boards is the bare minimum that you need to know to be an effective physician, but it gives you no experience whatsoever. You need somebody with a couple of gray hairs, not too many gray hairs, but you need a few gray hairs to really sit down and have a rapport with the patient. Now, in Medicare for All, and what's heading now is the concept of the hospitalist. This is when your family doctor, who's good old Dr. Jones, or perhaps good old Dr. Soloway, is your doctor day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out. You go to the hospital because you're having shortness of breath, and some guy walks in the room, speaks broken English, you don't know what he's talking about, and he runs out of the room, and now you're crying because your daughter lives in another city, your son lives in another city, your parents are in a nursing home, or they passed away or something, and you're just scared, and you want answers. And then the nurse comes in, sir, can you tell me your history? I just told the doctor. Yeah, but he's the doctor and I'm the nurse. But I just said the thing. I'm nervous. I can't talk so much. So everything is cookbook. There's too much cookbook. So these people come in. The nurse doesn't know you. She has a 12-hour shift. Then she leaves. You might see her 4 days later because you see now nothing's about hard work anymore. It's all about quality and let's work as few hours as possible. And if we work as few hours as possible, we don't even have to have a relationship with any of the patients. So if we have no relationship with the patient, true story, I was on the phone with a doctor at about 5 p.m. discussing a patient that was in the emergency room about a month or two ago. At 5:05, she says to me, sorry, mommy time starting, doctor time over. I said, but who am I going to talk to about the case? She goes, whoever comes in after me. Who's that? Dr. So-and-so. But Dr. So-and-so never met the patient. Doesn't matter. Got to go. Click. Bye. And by the way, she spoke to me very fast, and she spoke in broken English. I'm not going to say what country she came from, but not an American for sure. Not a patriot. Definitely not a patriot. I'll use that word.
Well, Doctor, I don't want to cut you off, but I want to get to a couple of points that I think very important. In fact, well, first of all, I think you made a very good point. If I'm going to be treated by a doctor, I don't want a doctor that read the book. I want a doctor that wrote the book. And what you say about getting a medical license, there you go. What you say about getting a medical license, I found the same thing about getting a pilot's license. All that did was now I had permission to learn to fly.
There you go. Oh, you said it 100%. When you pass your MD degree, you got the license to learn how to treat people. That's it. Nothing more than that.
Well, and Doctor, I want to get off onto this because I think it's very important that you're a friend of the president. And I want you to talk about how you became a friend of the president, why you support him, you as a doctor.
I love him. He is the nicest, kindest man I've ever met. He really is. I met him in Manhattan. There was a man on the steps of one of his buildings, Trump Towers or something, and there was a man limping. And I approached the man because he seemed like a stand-up guy. And I said, sir, are you okay? He says, oh, no, I'm not okay. I have this thing. You've never heard of it. It's called gout. And I have to fly back to my country, Australia. I'm leaving in a day or two, and I don't even know how I'm going to get on the plane. I assisted the man. I was able to get him from Manhattan to New Jersey on a weekend, and I injected the joints, and I fixed his pain from gout, got him on a plan to get him on the plane. And now President Trump, who was then Donald or Mr. Trump, he witnessed this. He was at the building. He came up to me and he said, who are you? What, this is incredible. And I said, I'm living at the building and I have an apartment and this and that. Oh my God, you're such a mensch. You're such a great man. You took a total stranger and arranged for them to come to your office and you helped them and I never met anybody like this, and he liked me, so we continued a rapport ever since.
And one of the things that if you listen to Joe Biden, Joe Biden will tell you, don't worry, just when I'm president, everybody is going to have health care. No one's going to have to worry. Pre-existing conditions, no problem. If you can't afford it, no problem. If you're 26 and living in your parents' basements, no problem. And what say you?
Well, I say, why isn't Joe Biden using his doctor to treat his own dementia, for God's sakes? That guy doesn't remember what color his socks are today. Come on. So, if history repeats itself, the old Joe Biden, who was younger, 900 years ago when he joined the Senate with George Washington, he was singing a different tune all those years. This guy is owned by the far left. He speaks for the far left. There's not one thought that comes out of that man's head that was his idea. And if it was his idea, he forgot anyway, because if you don't know this, I'm confident that he has early Alzheimer's. I don't know that for a fact. I've never met the man. I don't want to meet the man. But he's owned by the far left, and you are hearing the Ilham Omars and the Ocasio-Cortezes of the world speaking, using him as the Trojan horse. This is ridiculous. And back to before, 90% of people already have health coverage as long as the government doesn't jump in and mess it up anymore. Now,
what can we do for those 10% that don't have health coverage or those that have pre-existing conditions?
That's a great question. Half of them I can fix immediately, because I'll tell you what. Half of those people are veterans who also have Medicare, you take the half of the money that's going to the VA and you shift it into the Medicare system and say, look, you pick one or the other, but we're shutting your half of the VA because there's no reason for it, because it was established for the Civil War and we don't have those type of problems going on anymore. So you 15 million people without insurance who get free medicine at the VA, here's your Medicare VA card, go to your doctor, get your free medicine. Now, what do we do about now what's left? The 15 million out of 330 million? Well, there'll be a government program that I just haven't thought of yet.
Okay, I love that honesty.
Hey, you got to be honest. That's the one thing. You got to be true to yourself, and you got to be honest.
All right. Dr. Stephen Soloway, the book is, and hold that book up again. I love how you're promoting it. I love how you're promoting it.
You must buy this book. It'll be a bestseller if you buy this book. And I assure you, if you want me to sign this book, if I'm in your city, I'll sign it. If you come to New Jersey, I'll sign it. If you want me to sign it twice, if you think I'm good looking and you're married, leave it near your bed and don't tell your spouse that it's just a picture of me.
All right. And the book is Bad Medicine, the Horrors of American Medicare. Doctor, we want to thank you so much for joining us. By the way, before we go, tell our audience how they can buy the book and also find out more about you.
Oh, okay. So I'm Dr. Stephen Soloway. I practice in Vineland, New Jersey. I'm a professor at Rowan Medical, and I'm the chairman of rheumatology at the Inspira Health Network with an office in Vineland, New Jersey. You can order the book. Today was the launch. It's on all the retail sites. It's on Target.com, BarnesandNobles.com, Amazon.com, probably Walmart.com, every .com that has books involved, maybe CVS. But there's a website for the book, and it's badmedicinebook.net. Badmedicinebook.net.
All right. Dr. Stephen Soloway, we want to thank you so much for joining us. Take care. God bless. Good luck with the book.
Oh, God bless you. It's such a pleasure to join you guys. So much fun. Thank you.
Thank you. And you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. On the other side, we're going to be joined by Dan Gaynor. He is the Vice President of Business and Culture for the Media Research Center. And we're going to talk about Facebook and Twitter have censored the president, get this, 65 times. Guess how many times they've censored Joe Biden? We'll find out right after this break.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm going to call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419. That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling, the complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day, and for as little as $199 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
And once again, we want to thank you for staying with us. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Rick Trader. My co-host is Sharron Angle. And for a rebroadcast, either our radio show or our TV show, if you're not near one of our broadcast stations, check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. Be sure to like us, friend us, and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And with that, Sharon, our next guest is with us, and the honor of that introduction's up to you.
It is an honor for me to introduce Dan Gaynor, who's the Vice President for Business and Culture for the Media Research Center. He's a veteran editor whose work has been published and cited in Congressional Quarterly, Investors Business Daily, Chicago Sun-Times, New York Post, Washington Times, Orange County Register, San Diego Union Tribune, Dateline Washington, Janet Purcell's America, Chuck Carter Show, Tom Hartman's Show, American Family Radio, CNBC's Power Lunch, CNN's Paula Zahn Now, and Fox's Hannity and Combs, and Fox Business Live. Wow, Dan, you're everywhere. You're everywhere. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Well, you can see you left off Conservative Commandos. That's
true.
I've done this show repeatedly for many years, so it is only fair to list that.
Well, next time we'll lead with that. How's that?
That's fair.
Speaking of leading, we've got a real problem here. It seems like all of us have gotten a bit used to being able to have a free country around here, freely expressing our ideas out there on the internet. I know that's how we get most of our ideas out there, is through the internet. But now Twitter and Facebook and YouTube seem to have decided that they're going to come in and be the opinion police. Well, how can they do that?
Well, they can do it. It's perfectly legal for them to do it, and unfortunately perfectly constitutional. I've worked in the internet for a quarter century, so I've seen the whole evolution of this. And the internet, once it passed amateur hour, it became sort of a free speech haven. The people who were drawn to the internet would speak their mind, and if somebody said something that offended you, you offended them back, or you ignored them, whatever, you moved on. All that continued on. 2008, Barack Obama ran for president, and part of his campaign was a sophisticated social media plan, and it helped him win. 2012 was a very sophisticated social media plan, and it really helped him win. And you had one of the Facebook executives, come out and say, "Oh yeah, we gave him stuff we didn't give to the other side." Beginnings of a trend. But then in 2016, that whole idea that the left controlled social media ran smack dab into a problem. Donald J. Trump. And Trump was his own media entity, and he still is. And so he had a more sophisticated social media plan, and also he was a celebrity, something that Hillary Clinton just wasn't. And suddenly the left discovered something that terrified them. Conservatives had gone online. Oh my gosh, they're everywhere. And if you've seen the video of the freak out of Google post-election involving all the top Google executives, because Google is one of the big problems, every day since Trump won, and actually if you go back into 2016 and 2015 for the campaign, big tech has been trying to reverse course. The left and the media have been pushing them aggressively to do so. And we have gradually lost free speech online. Twitter was originally founded as the free speech haven of the internet. And now it's the worst abuser of free speech of any of the big tech companies. Google so obviously fixes its search results. Try Googling Breitbart. I was Breitbart, one of their tech reporters, is somebody I read a lot, Alan Bakari. I was Googling him, and I found at like 75, 80 results. Well, Alan has written at least 50 things just since like September 1st. He's very prolific, and God bless him. He writes a lot, works hard. There's no way in heck they have all his stuff. The top searches almost universally were other sites, not Breitbart. Of course, they isolate him. They isolate the rest of Breitbart. Back in July, Google shut down a whole bunch of conservative outlets, including all the MRC websites. Just shut them down for like 6 hours. Oh, guess what? So we've seen the power of the social media companies, and then now it's just off the charts insane. They are determined to fix things, but they are protected to some extent, or to a lot of extent, that's up in the air, by Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. Because back when I first started working in social media, the big problems were defamation and porn. And if you remember, those of us who were active then, you got porn spam in your email and your websites and everywhere. And that's what Congress wanted them to deal with. So they encouraged them to edit their sites. And they said, if you do, you're protected by any of the dumb stuff that people post on your website. Well, that sounds good, except what they did, they were considered offensive material back in 1996. And now it's anything they disagree with. Now it is political thought. Now it is, if you dare say anything about transgenders on Twitter, if you dare say anything about illegal immigrants or politics, you criticize Biden, you don't criticize Trump, on down the line, you get censored. Babylon Bee today got censored by Facebook for a very humorous Monty Python meme, where they were talking about one of these senators was going to weigh Amy Coney Barrett and compare her weight to the weight of a duck, and if she was the same weight, she would be burned as a witch and stuff like that. Well, of course, this is like I say, goes back to Monty Python. That got censored because people at these companies think they are the final arbiters of truth and humor, and they were not appointed to be such.
Well, and it doesn't seem like they are actually censoring the really, truly nasty stuff that you can find with Google or even on YouTube. It seems like it's all out there. And in fact, Zoom has even gotten involved here as of late. So, they're protecting us from opinion, but not from the things that the Congress really actually meant them to protect us from.
Right. Well, they're protecting us from stuff that offends them. We've moved from the free speech world to the safe space world. And what has happened particularly in social media companies, we had these three versions of what people thought the world was going to be. You had the Chinese version of the internet, which is complete and all government control. You know, the European version, which is sort of the slippery slope toward the Chinese version, and then the American version is supposed to be free speech. But big tech has thrown the American version out the window, or they're trying to. And they're trying to embrace the second, but the second leads to the third, where we'll lose all ability to bank and shop and do politics online. Will all be controlled by people who think they're smarter than we are.
Well, what can be done? I guess that's what I want is a solution. They seem like they're a monopoly, like you can't get around them.
Well, some of them I think are monopolies. I think Google certainly is monopoly. They control 92% of the search around the world, not just in the United States. The U.S. government starts to consider a company a monopoly when you hit 50% market penetration. Like, oh, you might be a monopoly. 92%. Yeah, you're probably a monopoly up there. Facebook the same way. Facebook has 2.7 billion members on Facebook. That's the population of India and China, the two most populous nations on earth. And then its number one competitor, Instagram, which it also owns. And then WeChat, which it also owns. And then the number one video site is YouTube, owned by Google. And you can just go down the line. And the amount of power these companies have, I don't exaggerate when I say they're the most powerful companies in human history, including the British East India Company, which was so powerful it fielded a military and conquered India. So if they're more powerful than that, we need to be worried.
Well, and then Congress is saying they're worried too. They're going to have some hearings. What do you think? Any success with that, or do you think they'll just reveal to us what we already know and move on?
The problem we've got is simply the left and the right want different things. The left wants to censor more conservative speech. The right wants to censor less conservative speech. Now, you notice no one's talking about censoring liberal speech because the right doesn't want to censor liberal speech and the left won't allow it. So all we're doing is we're fighting a last-ditch fight to protect our ability to express ourselves online, to shop online, to go to Amazon and buy books that Amazon might disagree with, to go on YouTube and watch videos that YouTube might disagree with. And they don't want that to happen. And so then you talk about politicians going after Section 230 and trying to restrict it. Because ultimately, if these companies won't play by any fair set of rules, why are we protecting them with government regulation?
Why indeed. We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM FM 24/7. I'm Sharon Engel here with my co-host, Rick Trader, and we've been talking with Dan Gaynor, who is Vice President for Business and Culture for the Media Research Center, about business and culture, Twitter style, Facebook style, and Google style. We'll be right back after these messages.
Attention homeowners. Do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition, as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
And welcome back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And one more time, I want to give a shout out to folks who are listening to us on radio stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and also seen on the AUN television network in San Francisco, Sacramento, San Jose, Silicon Valley, Wine Country, Redding, and very soon in Carson City and in Reno. Our guest this segment is Dan Gaynor. He's the Vice President for Business and Culture for the Media Research Center. And Dan, I want to talk with you about a new report that the Media Research Center has done that revealed that Facebook and Twitter have censored the president and his campaign 65 times compared to Joe Biden and Joe Biden's campaign, where they haven't been censored at all. Dan, tell us a little bit about this report.
Well, if for everybody's paying attention last week, just 6 days ago, Twitter and Facebook both censored this groundbreaking new report about Hunter Biden and his dad and corruption, and the New York Post came out with it, and it was promptly censored online to the point where Twitter at one point wouldn't even allow you to post the URL, is still banned New York Post until such time as the New York Post removes those tweets. Basically, they argued, oh, this is the product of hacked material. Well, by that premise, pretty much everything that, big stories, the Pentagon Papers or Trump's taxes or whatever comes from some origin. And if you're saying you can't post that, how come you didn't say it before? Oh, we know why. Because you're trying to help a political candidate. So they basically silenced it. Over Facebook, they openly flouted their own rules. Facebook has embraced this ridiculous left-wing fact-checker network, the International Fact-Checking Network. And the way it happens is people on Twitter will report a story, and the fact-checking network, if they do an analysis and find it fails and it's false or partly false, that will appear in your story. But according to the director of communications for Facebook, they restricted access to the story even before anybody filed the complaint. They just didn't like the result. And so what we decided to do, how often do they do this? And so we went back to the beginning of the campaign when Biden first started posting ads. We figured that's a good break point. So we looked, and let's face it, it's not, despite this incident, it's not Facebook that's the problem for this particular issue. It's Twitter. Twitter censored the president in his campaign 64 of the 65 times. They're power mad over Twitter. Jack Dorsey thinks that he can restrict anything he disagrees with. He's all about what he calls healthy conversation. I do air quotes, but the arm doesn't allow for it. But his definition of healthy conversation is stuff he agrees with. And he's posted various radical things over the years, and we know where he stands politically, and we know where all these lefty organizations stand politically. The result is, if you're the Republican president of the United States or your campaign, you're going to get restricted. Frankly, if you're a Republican candidate, there are Republican candidates in Florida who cannot get treated the same way their Democratic opponents are. So what Facebook and Twitter and to extent Google and YouTube and all, they are interfering in the American presidential election.
By the way, Dan, I'm a little offended that you were offended that MRC was shut down for 6 hours, was it? We were shut down for 6 weeks. Dan,
sorry, I didn't know about that. I was already but I can.
So I'm offended that you were offended, but anyway,
trying to intervene in this stuff is almost impossible.
Well, who do you go to? There's nobody to go to. I mean, they've got such walls built up. There's no complaint department.
Well,
there's no one you can appeal to.
We actually know some of the people to appeal to, and even then. We recently launched a website called censortrack.org, which is designed to track the worst examples of abuse from big tech. It's designed as a resource for media people like yourselves, journalists, anybody who wants to talk about this issue. And also it's designed to prove, look at all the examples, because the company
before you go on, what was this site? I got to write this down.
Censortrack.org. Censor, CENSOR, track.org. And because companies, all of this stuff is done by algorithm, which is just a fancy word for a computer program. And the computer programs that run these sites, even the left acknowledges that they are biased. The left will say, well, they're biased against us because they're discriminating against race and other demographic things. You're saying they discriminate because the people who designed them to be like them. Well, the people who designed them are liberals, which, one, you're saying that the liberals are designing stuff that's racist and sexist. That's fine. I'm willing to agree with that. But also, it discriminates against conservatives. So we've got companies that are liberal, staffed by employees who are liberal, run by executives that are liberal, with rule sets. They have these huge lists of rules. Facebook's is 14 to 15,000 words long, their rule set. And then it's enforced by liberals, and your posts are monitored by artificial intelligence that was written by liberals. And if you complain, you complain to liberals. That's kind of a setup.
Well, I don't know, Dan Gaynor, I don't understand how you call their employees liberals. What are you going by? The fact that 90% of their employees have donated to the Democrat Party? Are you basing it on that, Dan? I mean,
well,
how
I'm
can
basing
you
a
do
lot of
that?
things, but if you're over Twitter, that number is nearly 99%.
Wow.
You know, I mean, Twitter's overwhelmingly the swamp, and so conservatives, Republicans, and Congress were looking to take action on this, but one of the problems is the default traditional Republican or conservative position has been their private companies let them do what they want. That no longer works. That's the surrender caucus. That is just, let them destroy us, and that's what Khrushchev or somebody used to say, that that the West would sell the rope to communists that they would use to hang by. And they're right. But those days are over. If we can't deal with them, they will not embrace the ideals of the First Amendment, then we need to make sure that they embrace the rules of the government.
Well, how about break up? It's time to take these people to court. Antitrust. Look, they broke up the railroads. They broke up Standard Oil. They broke up the telephone company. Remember,
moving against Google right now. But the problem, when it's a political thing, you're going to take a big company and break it up into a whole bunch of smaller liberal companies. It only partially solves the problem.
Partial solutions better than what we're dealing with right now, Dan Gaynor.
That I agree.
Dan,
but
Dan, real quickly, I got to ask you a question. Why is there no alternative to Facebook, to Google, to Instagram, to YouTube? Why are conservatives and conservative dollars and conservative thinkers and creators, why are we so inept to come up with a place where we can go?
Well, the problem with that is twofold. One, conservative donors don't want to donate; they want to make money. The conservatives donate to church as their number one donation. The left donates to politics as its number one donation. And so that's problem one. Problem two is we want to be in the public area where everybody else is. Because if you go to a ghetto, it doesn't usually work out real well for the people who are there, and you can't convince anybody else but yourself.
All right. Dan Gaynor, Vice President of Business and Culture for the Media Research Center. Dan, always love having you on, but please tell our audience how they could find out more about what you do, what you write, and also the Media Research Center.
Well, they should go to newsbusters.org. They can find, including Tech Watch, which I also run now. So they can find that. They can go to censortrack.org if they want to find out more. They should go to mrc.org if they want to support us either financially or sign up for our newsletters. And they can find me on Twitter for full contact Twitter while I'm allowed to be there at Dan Gaynor, DANGAINOR. And honestly, I figured I'd be banned by now. So I'm living on the edge every day, and I just don't worry about it.
Well, I guess you're not a bad enough boy yet, Dan Gaynor. You got to work on that, I guess.
I'm in the middle today of calling Ayatollah Khamenei, the leader of Iran, a terrorist pig on Twitter.
Well, there you go. You're done for.
One of these days when I do that, that's going to be it for me on Twitter.
All right. I'm sure. Dan Gaynor, thank you so much. Great to see you again. Take care and God bless. Thanks. Take care of that shoulder.
I'm working on it.
And you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharron Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. Don't you go anywhere. Avoid disappointment and future regret. Sharron and I will be back with more right after this break.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000. You need home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club for around $1 a day. If any of your covered appliances and systems break down, HSC will either repair or replace them.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
I trust HSC.
HSC has over 15,000 pre-screened, highly rated technicians with the fastest response time in the industry. They cover everything from ACs, stoves, fridges, pool pumps, and more. Call the number on your screen now for a free no-obligation quote from a trusted HSC specialist about a home warranty for your entire home, backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get 1 month free plus $75 off your first year of coverage. 1 month free and $75 off your first year. The Home Service Club.
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for dental visits. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for transportation to my doctor. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay to have my prescriptions delivered directly to my home. Did you?
These and more are important benefits some Medicare Advantage plans may give you. So if you're eligible for Medicare, call us right now because you may be eligible to enroll in a plan with amazing additional benefits. Some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for services like these: dental visits, vision coverage, hearing coverage, home delivery of drugs, even gym memberships. Some plans may include no copays for many services and 0 deductibles. Don't wait to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a plan that may include some of these wonderful benefits you deserve. Call us right now. The call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation. Make this free call now to learn if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that may include additional benefits you want. Call us right now.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Well, Sharon, that's just about it for today. And before we wrap things up, Sharon, I just want to tell our listeners and viewers out there to please check out our new channels. That is our Roku channel at American Uncensored News. Check us out there. Also, check us out on Vimeo, as long as they allow us to be there, and also on YouTube. And Sharon, I always appreciate doing this show with you. And for our listeners who want to find out what you're up to when you're not here with Melissa or George or Nasser or myself, how can they do that?
Well, it's simple. Go to SharonEngle.com, SharonEngle.com. I want to thank our guests because they are the hallmark of our show. Cheryl Chumley was with us. She's the online opinion editor at the Washington Times, and we were discussing her new book, Socialists Don't Sleep. Christians Must Rise or America Will Fall. We also spoke to Dr. Stephen Soloway, who has dedicated his life to helping patients, and he has written a book, Bad Medicine, The Horrors of American Healthcare. We got a few tips from him. And finally, we were with Dan Gaynor, who is with the Media Research Center. He is their Vice President of Business and Culture, and we were talking about the monopolies, Twitter, Facebook, and Google, and what can be done.
Yep. It's amazing to me how they can get away with censoring and shutting off the President of the United States. I mean, these people think they're gods. They really do. But Sharon, for right now, we're out of time. We got to run and we got to go. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you tomorrow on TV and on radio.